Welcome back to our Saturday Gamecast. We finished with Monster Party, the final cloud level, and watched the hilarious ending video. Now we're on to Mega Man 2. I skipped the opening video. We're moving very quickly through the mechanics of the beginning of the game. Very quickly, we are Mega Man, the little blue robot cyborg dude, who has to fight 8 robot masters who are all built by the evil scientist guy. It's a pretty standard sci-fi-ish story. You get to choose which order you fight them in, and when you kill each of the robot masters, you gain his weapon. And we know they are him because all of them end with man. Here we are playing Metal Man's stage, and this is pretty standard for Mega Man 2 order, is to play Metal Man first because he's quite an easy robot master to beat and his weapon is way, way, way powerful. So, we're working our way through. Mega Man right now just has his arm cannon. The black and white power-ups are health power-ups, and then the ones that look blue will charge up your secondary weapon if you're using it. That drains another energy meter, but we don't have a secondary weapon in this level, so we aren't using them. I'm recording during another soggy day in Dublin. We did our time change a week before the States did, so when this recording goes live on Saturday morning, the States will still be on standard time, going to fall their clocks back Saturday night, but we've already done so, so it gets dark super, super, super early here. Now, I noticed going to work last night at about 5:30, it was already pretty dark. I was just about ready to use my lights on the bike going to work rather than just coming back from work. You can see Metal Man stage has all the gears in the background. It's some kind of factory manufacturing plant. And my play isn't perfect throughout this whole run through, but this is a very fun game that can be worked through when we're playing on the easy mode, which I am here. Without too much difficulty. Can be learned, the patterns can be learned, and using some help from guides as to which robot masters are vulnerable to other robot master powers. Last weekend we visited the Bram Stoker Festival in Dublin, and we were just probably had some bad timing, we think. Down there is an E-tank, and when you use an E-tank, it recharges your health fully. They're quite handy during boss fights, and I missed the jump here, so down I go, and we're just going to go back to the beginning of this screen. But we visited the Bram Stoker Festival. We signed up for a literary talk about the enduring legacy of ghost stories and why ghost stories remain popular in literature today, and having that being one of the oldest forms of storytelling. And that was quite nice, but we just maybe had bad luck on some of the other things. There were supposed to be events happening all over town that were Dracula themed. And some of them were free, some of them were pay. Most of the free ones required signing up in advance, and we signed up a little bit too late. Most of those things had filled up. But there was supposed to be street theater and street musicians and performances at different spots throughout town. And when we got to those spots, there just wasn't very much. Get that jump by a pretty narrow margin. It may have been that we were earlier than some of the biggest, best acts, but our favorite one was a tent with a couple of guys in capes standing in the tent smoking cigarettes when we arrived. That was the spooktacular street performance that we were supposed to run into. Also got some bad luck with the weather that day. We were wearing nicer clothes for the literary talk that night. We didn't want to be dressed like schlubs, but we were on our feet walking around throughout the day. This is Metal Man, by the way. He jumps and throws his blades in response to your jump, and also the height of his jump matches the height of your jump. So your goal is to just dodge his blades and hit him with your arm cannon. So he's not too difficult to take down. Let's watch the weapon equip animation that comes up here. Mega Man warps out. Get equipped with Metal Blade. And you can see it's abbreviated by an M. And I'm going to go back to the stage select. We'll take on the second Robot Master in this video. We get a better look at all of them. Bubbleman, Airman, Quickman, Heatman, Flashman, Crashman, and we will be taking on Woodman. He has a pretty funny animation. Supposed to be intimidating and scary. We'll see. And I'll use a lot more of the Metal Blade with this one. There's fantastic music in all of the Mega Man games on NES, and there are 6 of them on NES. I don't know if we'll go through all 6 here in these series, but I guess I will be here for a while. So there was a 1-up. Very nice. These bats will stay on the wall or the ceiling until they are triggered. Then they take kind of a direct path at you. You have to manipulate their path a little bit by jumping or moving laterally. See, I've switched to the M. That's the Metal Blade. So now instead of my usual arm cannon, I'm firing the Metal Blade. And the Metal Blade is also nice because it doesn't take a lot of energy per attack from the gold energy meter. I got a little energy refill from the big fire-breathing robot dog. You can't let the enemy types get you down in this game. There, I just decided to jump at him and throw everything at him. We got bad luck with the weather on our Dracula day. We got some pretty heavy rain on our nicer clothes. We had our umbrellas, but the wind was also pretty strong that day because Europe had a lot of strong storms this week. There was a lot of damage and a few fatalities too this week. Ireland didn't seem to get hit quite as bad, even as Great Britain did, our neighbors to the east. And then continental Europe saw that storm continue through Northern Europe, Germany, and countries up there. I don't know if that news made the American news. Another big story that took a while to get to the American news was the Roma family child abduction story that has the authorities here in Ireland with some egg on their face. There was a case in Eastern Europe, in Greece, of a child who was illegally adopted by a family of Roma, and Roma is the more modern PC name for gypsy people. The child was illegally adopted by this Roma family, and there was a big to-do because people considered that as kidnapping, even though it was an adoption that didn't have the proper paperwork filed for it. And it was found because the child didn't look like its Roma parents. And that happened in Dublin, where a Roma family had a child who did not look like a Roma person racially, had fair skin and blonde hair and blue eyes. So someone called the police. The police came and took the child away for a couple of days while they ran paternity tests. And not just paternity tests, but parentage tests. Discovered that this child was actually the biological child of this Roma family who just happened to look different than they did by a little bit. So that made European news, and the authorities here definitely have some explaining to do after that situation. And we saw that as it went through here, it took a while before it made it to the news in America. So check that story out. It's quite interesting. We finished with Metal Man and Woodman.